Hello everybody, welcome back to this TI Basics programming tutorial series. Today we're going to be focusing on the basics of the I/O menu, which stands for input/output. You'll notice I'm just going to name this program to illustrate it, let's say I/O. So you'll notice we've got a lot of commands in here that we've already used, like input, disp. These are input and display. We've used those in pretty much every episode. And of course, you've got clear home, which we used maybe once, if I recall correctly. So let's focus on a few of the other commands. We're not going to go into graph or table or anything like that. We're not going to go clear table or anything, or use the get or send commands, because frankly, I don't quite know how to use those myself. But the rest we are going to briefly touch up on. So first, let's look at the prompt command. The prompt is similar to, the prompt is similar to input in a way. I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's go back to program. It's used with a display command. So like, let's say we could say display and enter numbers. Let's just do that. Why don't we? Yeah, that'll work. All right. So now that we have that displayed on the screen, we then use the prompt command, and this will prompt us for, well, all right, hold on. Let me just try and explain. The way this command works is that you type in variables. Like you need to type in A, and so it'll say enter numbers, and A will let you type in something. And so let's say 79, like 790, why not? And then once we type in A, you can see it stored 790 into A. That's what the prompt command does. But it's like a more powerful version of input because you can store multiple variables at a time with a single command, which is why we said numbers. So let's say we can do B as well, and then A we can make 890, and B we can make 467 or something, I don't know. And then as you can see, A is now 890 and B is 467. And this you can make, as from what I can tell, as many numbers as you really want within reason. Like you could go C, D, E, F, probably all the way throughout the alphabet, and as you can see, it'll just work for all of them. Yeah. So that's prompt. It can be useful for many situations, like if you need multiple variables to solve a complex equation and you're making a program to do it instantly, you can use the prompt command to assign all the variables in a single command, then use them to solve the equation. Now, the next one we're going to be focusing on is going to be output. So you've got input, now we've got output. Output is essentially a far, far more complex version of display. And it has a parenthesis right here. It still outputs text or variables to the screen, but it has a major difference. It uses coordinates to ask where the text is supposed to go. So that's basically the major change and difference between display and output. So let me explain the coordinate system. This right here would be 1, 1. The top left, not the center, the top left would be 1, 1. On both monochrome and color calculators. So if you have a color calculator, you can follow along here as well, although your screen will be able to fit more characters naturally as it is bigger. A full character to the right is 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, and so on and so forth. And it goes down to, like, you know, this right here will be 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. So monochrome calculators go 8 characters down and 16 characters across. And if you're fortunate enough to own a color calculator, your screen will be able to fit 26 by 10 characters. Just to keep that in mind, know the characters your screen can fit, and usually I like to center my text as much as possible by mathematically figuring out where it should be. It's generally a nice way to do things. So that's essentially the coordinate system explained. Let's go back to the program menu. So coordinates work a little bit weird in TI Basic. Normally you'd write them as X and Y in almost every setting, but in here they're written as YX. So if we wanted to write something maybe 3 to the right and 2 down, we would put in 2, 3, comma, and by the way, the comma's right here in case you didn't know. So that essentially makes it so it's listing the coordinates, then a comma means it separates it so you can type in your text. Then, as usual, we would put in parentheses if we want to do, actual text. Whoops. And we wouldn't put in parentheses if we wanted to do a variable. But as you can see, it displayed text in the correct location. Now, I'm going to briefly explain clear home again, because it is a pretty useful command if you want to make your things look better, because why not? So that was embarrassing. I meant to do insert, but I pressed alpha instead of second. We're just going to ignore that. Let's go to clear home. It's number 8. By the way, I forgot to mention, you can just press the number key that corresponds with the command and it'll type it in instantly. If you memorize the numbers, then that'll make it way easier. Clear home, for example, is 8 in the IO menu. You don't have to, it's just ease of access. But that's beside the point. So now we can put in our, hold up, sorry, thing was targeting the wrong thing for a second. This operates a little weird on the computer. So now we can put in our 2, 3, text. And so it clears the home before starting the program so that the text is the only thing that's on the home screen. Well, besides the done, but we can put in a pause command to fix that, like, where is it? Right here. Pause. There. Now it's text. Press enter. We're done. So that's clear home. When combined with pause, they can just make that the only thing on the screen. I don't know if I explained that very well, but I'm just rolling with it. I'd say maybe the last command we're probably going to touch up on for now would be getKey. You may be able to guess what this already does, but if you don't, I wouldn't necessarily blame you. So, getKey, basically, the long way, the super simplified version is saying it allows you to press a certain button to do a certain thing. That's the incredibly simplified version, but it's pretty complex. Well, kind of complex. So we go in here, we press getKey. The way I like to do it is immediately store it into a variable, such as maybe K for key. So now that we've got K, we can say, oh geez, I forgot about something. Okay, so every key here has a number. Like, I think this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is 14 or something. I forget No, I think this is 15. Every key has a number, but honestly, it's been such a long time since I've used getKey. I've kind of forgotten exactly which number corresponds to which key. Although I will put a link in the description to maybe a Google image which shows you which one's which. But the way you would do it is like, first of all, actually, no. GetKey is way too complex to explain in a basic I.O. video. I'll do that later. Sorry. Especially once I've memorized the keycap thing. Sorry, I won't put that in the description yet, but I will later. Overall, though, I think you have a basic understanding of most general functions in the I.O. setting, except for the ones that involve graphs, which you don't currently need. But thank you for sticking around to the end, and I will attempt to put an upload schedule in place, but as one may be able to guess, I clearly have not done that yet. However, it will happen eventually, so for now, thank you for watching. Remember to leave all questions, comments, and concerns in the comments section, like the video if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more tutorials. This is TI Basics, signing off.